Hello everyone and welcome back to Cybercraft. Today I want to talk about the dark web with the ChatGPT. Have a long conversation with the AI and ask different questions. At the first, I want to ask that what is the dark web and answer me so clear and so basic.
Of course, at its core, the dark web is a hidden part of the internet that you can't access with regular browsers. It requires special tools like the Tor browser to maintain anonymity and privacy. It's often used for secure communication and can host both legitimate and illegal content. Hopefully that's nice and clear.
So, what is the difference between the dark web and deep web?
Absolutely. The deep web encompasses all parts of the internet that aren't indexed by standard search engines, such as private databases, personal accounts, and subscription-only content. The dark web, on the other hand, is a smaller, hidden portion of the deep web that's intentionally concealed and requires special software like Tor to access. In essence, the dark web is a specific hidden subset of the broader deep web.
Okay, you said that the dark web is a part of the deep web. Explain it so deeply.
Of course, think of the internet as a big iceberg. The part we see with regular search engines is just the tip of the iceberg. Below that surface, we have the deep web, which includes all the content that's not indexed by search engines, like private files, databases, and personal accounts. Now, the dark web is a smaller hidden section within that deep web. It's intentionally concealed and requires specific software like Tor to access it. So, in short, the dark web is just a tiny secretive part of the larger deep web.
So why do people use the dark web?
People use the dark web for a variety of reasons. For example, it can offer a space for whistleblowers and journalists to communicate securely and anonymously, especially in regions with heavy censorship. It also helps individuals maintain privacy for personal reasons, like avoiding tracking. Additionally, some use it to access information or communities that might not be available on the surface web. Of course, it's a mix of both positive and negative uses, but that's the general idea.
Okay, now you said that why do people use the dark web? So how do people open the dark web safely?
To access the dark web safely, people usually use the Tor browser, which is designed to anonymize their internet traffic. They'll also take precautions like keeping their software up to date, using a reliable VPN for an extra layer of security, and being cautious about the websites they visit and the files they download. This helps ensure that their identity and data remain protected while browsing.
So give me information about the Tor browser. What is Tor browser? You said that the people can go on the dark web with the Tor browser.
Absolutely. The Tor browser is a special web browser that's designed to protect your privacy and anonymity. It routes your internet traffic through a network of volunteer-operated servers called nodes or relays, which helps to anonymize your location and encrypt your data multiple times. This makes it much harder for anyone to track your online activity. The Tor browser also blocks trackers and helps keep your browsing private, making it the primary tool for accessing the dark web safely.
What dangers exist on the dark web?
There are definitely some risks on the dark web. For instance, there can be exposure to illegal activities such as marketplaces dealing with illicit goods. There are also potential security threats like malware or scams. Additionally, because of the anonymity, it can be harder to trust who you're interacting with. It's important to be cautious, stick to reputable sources, and always prioritize your security and privacy.
So it's so dangerous for humans. How can someone protect their privacy online?
Absolutely, online privacy is really important. Some good practices include using a strong and unique passwords for each account, enabling two-factor authentication whenever possible, regularly updating your software and devices, using a reliable VPN to encrypt your internet
There is a very common question from beginners. Why is downloading files from the dark web is dangerous?
That's a great question. Downloading files from the dark web can be dangerous because those files often contain malware, viruses, or other malicious code that can compromise your device or steal your data. Additionally, files from untrusted sources can lead to security breaches or legal issues. That's why it's always crucial to be extremely cautious and avoid downloading anything unless you're absolutely sure of its source.
So, what is scams or common on the dark web?
On the dark web, there are definitely some common elements. For example, you'll find forums and communities that focus on privacy, security, and anonymity. You'll also encounter marketplaces, some of which deal in legal goods and unfortunately some in illicit items. You'll also find a lot of resources related to cybersecurity, encrypted communication, and sometimes even whistleblower platforms. It's a mix of both helpful and potentially harmful content.
So now, how can someone know if a website is safe or not on the dark web?
That's a really important consideration. One way is to look for trusted sources or directories that curate reputable dark websites. Checking for user reviews and feedback can help, as well as verifying that the site has strong encryption and secure connections. It's also wise to avoid clicking on unknown links or downloading files from unverified sites. Ultimately, maintaining caution and skepticism is key to staying safe.
Why do governments monitor dark web activities?
Governments monitor dark web activity for several reasons. One major reason is to combat illegal activities such as drug trafficking, human trafficking, cybercrime, and the distribution of illicit content. They also keep an eye on potential threats to national security like terrorism or extremist activities. By monitoring these activities, governments aim to prevent crime, protect citizens, and uphold the law. It's a complex balance between security and privacy.
So, how does Tor hide our identity?
The Tor network hides your identity by routing your internet traffic through a series of volunteer-operated nodes, also known as relays. Each step in the journey only knows the node it received data from and the node it's sending data to, and not the entire route. This layering of encryption is often called onion routing, and it effectively masks your IP address and location. As a result, it's very difficult for anyone to trace your online activity back to you.
Okay, what are the onion websites?
Onion websites are special sites hosted on the dark web that use the .onion domain. These websites are accessible only through the Tor network and then designed to provide anonymity and privacy for both the users and the site owners. The name Onion comes from the multiple layers of encryption used to protect the data as it travels through the Tor network. Essentially, Onion sites help keep both the visitors and the content creators anonymous.
Okay, why is dark web is so slow?
The dark web can often be slow for a few reasons. Nodes around the world, which adds extra steps and encryption layers, and that can slow things down. Additionally, because the network relies on volunteer-operated nodes, some nodes might have limited bandwidth or might be located far apart, further contributing to slower speeds. And finally, since some sites might have limited server capacity, that can also impact the performance.
Okay, how do dark web or marketplace work?
Dark web marketplaces typically operate by using anonymity-focused platforms and often rely on cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin for transactions to keep both buyers and sellers anonymous. They often market themselves through forums, directories, or word of mouth, and they typically have user reviews and ratings to build trust within the community. They can also use encrypted communication channels to keep transactions private.
why does the dark web have so many fake or scam websites?
A big reason is that the dark web's anonymity makes it easier for scammers to operate without getting caught. Because it's harder to trace identities, malicious actors can create fake marketplaces or scam sites to take advantage of unsuspecting users. Additionally, the lack of regulation and oversight means that it's much easier for scammers to pop up and disappear quickly. That's why it's always important to remain vigilant and cautious when navigating those spaces.
What does anonymity mean in the dark web?
Anonymity on the dark web means that both users and website owners can interact without revealing their real identities or personal information. This is achieved through encryption, routing traffic through multiple nodes, and using special software like Tor. The goal is to keep the identities and locations of the participants hidden, which helps protect privacy, avoid surveillance, and reduce the risk of tracking or censorship.
What is the difference between the dark web and surface web? Because the surface web is so slow, so fast, and dark web is so slow. What's the reason? And give me full information about it.
Absolutely. The surface web is the portion of the internet that's indexed by search engines like Google, so it's easily accessible and usually very fast because it uses direct connections between your device and the web servers. In contrast, the dark web is intentionally hidden and requires special software like Tor, which routes your traffic through multiple relays to ensure anonymity. This multi-layered routing is what causes the slower speeds on the dark web, as your data has to pass through several nodes before reaching its destination. Additionally, the dark web often has fewer resources and can be subject to congestion, which also impacts performance. In summary, the difference comes down to the infrastructure, the layers of encryption, and the level of anonymity that each network provides.
So, how does the Tor network route traffic?
The Tor network routes traffic through a series of volunteer-operated nodes, often called relays, in multiple layers of encryption. When you send data, it first gets encrypted multiple times and then passed through a chain of at least 3 nodes: the entry node, the middle node, and the exit node. Each node only knows the node that sent it data and the node it should send data to next, but not the entire path. This way, no single node knows both the origin and the destination of the data, ensuring that your identity and activity remain private and anonymous. It's a clever system that adds multiple layers of security.
So, what is the difference between VPN and the Tor?
Great question. A VPN or virtual private network encrypts your internet traffic and routes it through a server in another location, effectively masking your IP address and making your online activity more private. However, VPN doesn't hide the websites you visit from your internet service provider, and it doesn't provide the same level of anonymity as Tor. Tor, on the other hand, routes your traffic through multiple nodes in a decentralized network, which makes it much harder to trace your activity back to you. It also hides the websites you visit from your ISP. In some way, a VPN is great for encrypting your connection and masking your IP, while Tor offers a deeper level of anonymity by using multiple layers of encryption and relays.
So, what is the reason that most of the countries block the Tor browser?
Many countries block the Tor browser primarily because it can be used to bypass censorship and access restricted content, which can be a concern for governments that want to control or monitor internet usage. Additionally, Tor can sometimes be used for illegal activities, and by blocking it, governments aim to reduce the risk of cybercrime or other illicit activities. It's also sometimes a way to prevent the spread of information that might be deemed sensitive or politically sensitive. Overall, it's about balancing security, control, and the free flow of information.
So there is another question between most of the people that ask what are the onion layers in a Tor. Give me a complete information about this to solve the most of the people's question.
Absolutely. The term onion layers in Tor comes from the concept of onion routing. Essentially, when you send data through the Tor network, it gets encrypted multiple times, just like layers of an onion. Each layer of encryption is peeled away by a different node along the path. When you first send your data, it's encrypted in layers. The outermost layer is peeled off by the first node, then the next layer by the second node, and so on, until it reaches the exit node. The exit node then sends the decrypted data to its final destination. This multi-layered encryption ensures that no single node can see both the origin and the final destination of the data, providing strong anonymity and privacy. It's a clever and robust system that keeps users' identities protected.
So you said that the encryption data of the Tor browser is much more better than WhatsApp or not?
In some ways, yes. The Tor network uses multiple layers of encryption and routes traffic through several nodes, making it extremely difficult for anyone to trace the data back to the user. On the other hand, WhatsApp primarily uses end-to-end encryption for messages, which ensures that only the sender and the recipient can read the content. However, Tor's multiple layers of encryption and its decentralized routing offer a broader level of anonymity compared to WhatsApp, which relies on a single encryption method for each message. That said, both have their own strengths and purposes. Tor is more about overall anonymity and privacy, while WhatsApp focuses on secure communication between known contacts. It really depends on what you're looking to protect.
How do journalists use the dark web safely, and why they use?
Journalists often use the dark web, particularly the Tor network, to protect their sources and their own privacy. The anonymity provided by Tor helps shield both the journalists and their sources from surveillance and potential retaliation. This is especially important in regions where freedom of the press is restricted or way whistleblowers might be at risk. By using the dark web, journalists can communicate securely and share sensitive information without exposing their identities. They can also access information and sources that might be blocked or censored on the surface web. In short, it's a powerful tool for protecting journalistic integrity and ensuring that important stories can be told safely.
So how do people use the dark web to send information between to each other?
People often use the dark web for secure communication by leveraging encrypted messaging platforms and anonymous email services. For instance, they might use secure end-to-end encrypted chat apps that are specifically designed for anonymity, or they might use secure drop platforms, which allow whistleblowers to share information safely. Typically, these platforms are accessible only through the Tor browser, which ensures that both the sender and the receiver remain anonymous. This way, sensitive information can be shared without exposing identities or locations, and it provides a layer of security that's essential for protecting both parties.
Okay, I said that how do the normal people can send information between each other. And there is another question from my question. What risks do normal people face on the dark web?
Got it. For regular people, sharing information on the dark web typically involves using secure encrypted communication tools like encrypted email services or secure messaging platforms that are accessible via Tor. People can also use platforms like Secure Drop to share documents anonymously. Essentially, it's about using tools that prioritize encryption and privacy. As for the risks, normal people on the dark web can
Why is clicking random links on the dark web is dangerous?
Clicking random links on the dark web can be risky for several reasons. First, many of these links can lead to malicious sites that host malware, which can infect your device and potentially steal personal data or compromise your security. Additionally, there are a lot of scam sites that may trick you into giving away personal information or even money. Furthermore, some links can expose you to illegal content, which could lead to legal troubles depending on your location. Finally, there's the risk of encountering phishing attempts that try to gather sensitive information. Overall, it's crucial to be extremely cautious and only visit trusted, reputable sites when navigating the dark web.
What types of scams are more common on the dark web?
On the dark web, there are several common types of scams that people encounter. For example, there are phishing scams where malicious actors create fake marketplaces or fake services to trick users into giving away personal information or cryptocurrency. There are also fake marketplace scams where a site may look legitimate but either doesn't deliver the goods or never intended to fulfill the order at all. Then there are also investment or pump and dump scams where fraudsters promise huge returns on investments but then disappear once they get the money. Additionally, there are fake services for hacking or other illegal activities that either don't work or are just designed to scam people out of their money. Overall, it's always important to be extremely cautious and skeptical when navigating the dark web.
Why is giving personal info in the dark web is dangerous?
Giving personal information on the dark web can be very dangerous because it can easily be exploited by malicious actors. For instance, if someone's personal data is obtained, it could lead to identity theft, financial fraud, or even targeted attacks. Additionally, sharing personal details can make you a target for scams or harassment, and it also increases the risk of your information being sold or leaked on other platforms, potentially leading to long-term consequences. So it's always best to remain as anonymous as possible and avoid sharing any personal details when navigating the dark web.
So, what is your final advice to us? How to use the dark web? What should we do? What should we don't do in the dark web and everything?
Absolutely. My main advice is to prioritize your privacy and security. Always use the Tor browse aid and keep it updated. Make sure to use a reliable VPN for an extra layer of protection. Avoid sharing any personal information or sensitive data, and be cautious about the sites you visit. Stick to reputable and trusted sources. Also be mindful of the legal implications in your country, as some activities on the dark web can be illegal. And lastly, always stay vigilant and trust your instincts. If something feels off, it's best to steer clear. Stay safe and stay informed.
Okay, thank you so much.